Hello there, everybody. So in this video, we're going to talk about playing the game and the law of averages. So right now, I'm being live loaded. It's taken a long time, and I was delayed because operations didn't send me the load in time, so I didn't arrive on time, and now I'm not going to be eligible for detention pay. So this happens from time to time. What you want to know for playing the game is that over the course of a year, everything's going to even out. Your gross revenue is going to be about the same year over year over year. Um, it really one bad day, it makes like no difference. You got to think of statistics. It's like, if you had a light load, potato chips, for example, and the wind is blowing, you can't drive. Is that going to ruin your business model? No. Is it going to have any effect on your performance for the year? No. Not for the whole year. So I've been an owner operator for 10 years. I can tell you my miles have always been about the same. It's always been like right around 120,000 miles for the year, plus or minus 5,000 miles. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the wind's blowing. It doesn't matter if it's bad roads for snow or ice, or whatever the situation may be that prevents you from driving. Even customer issues, doesn't matter. It'll average out over the course of the year. So this is playing the game. The game is, don't get mad, don't get bent out of shape. Don't fly off the handle because of a bad day. You know, don't get mad at the customer. Don't get mad at the carrier. This is just trucking. The nature of the beast. You getting mad does no good. Because over the course of the year, it'll work itself out. So when these things come up, you're like, oh, this is one of those days. I'm not going to get a lot of miles today because of this, that, or the other. Don't get mad. I mean, that does you no good. You get a weekly settlement, and maybe it's $500 less because you had a bad day thrown in there. That happens. That it's really no big deal when you put it in context of what are your earnings for the whole year, or the whole month. So if you want to win the game, you got to play the game. And part of playing the game is taking the bad days along the good days. You can't have a good day every single day that you're out here. There's going to be things that come up that you started out really good. You're having a great day, and then you run into a traffic jam and you sit there for hours on end. What are you going to do? You're going to get mad? It's disappointing, but your numbers won't really change compared to the whole year. You're still going to get about the same miles, about the same revenue. It doesn't really matter. So you getting mad is for no reason at all. I mean, it really doesn't do you any good, doesn't do the customer any good, doesn't do the carrier any good. you know and you're not the only one out there that happens to. That happens to everybody. So if you want to win the game, then you got to play the game. And part of playing the game is taking your losses. Not every day you're going to win. You're not going to win every single day, but you're going to win most days. You're going to win over the course of the year. You're going to take some losses too. There's going to be days when your truck breaks down. You won't be making any money. You may be in a shop for a whole week. So, but at the end of the year, you can look back over and say, okay, I had a good year, or I had an average year. That's fine too. There's plenty of things to do in your business that can occupy your time other than running the miles. So when these things come up, now's a great time to catch up on your accounting. Get caught up on your paperwork. Start reviewing your maintenance records and fine tune your weather conditions. But keep in mind that you want the law of averages. That's what you're after. You're looking at the law of averages over the course of the year. Everything's going to work out just fine. Don't get bent out of shape that day. You know, Tomorrow's a new day. It'll be better than it is today. It's something that you got to play for the averages. You just got to play for the averages. Not every day. You're not going to win every day. So keep that in mind. That you're going to play the game. You're going to play it with the idea that you're playing for the averages. All right, guys. That's all I got for you. So watching. We'll see you on the internet.